Good afternoon. First of all, hope you and your families have all had a wonderful Christmas and a brilliant start to 2019. Before I start, just really want to say thank you for all your support over the last year. The page, the Instagram page, YouTube videos and whatnot have really taken off, and they wouldn't have done so without all your support. So thank you very much. I sort of echo everyone who works on the page as well. So from Dan, Tim, Craig, James and Matt, without them I wouldn't be able to do this page because there's a lot of work to do, as you can probably imagine, but it's also a bit of fun as well. But no, thank you very much to all you guys. I really appreciate all your help. So today I thought I'd cover a little bit about obviously next week's big announcement from Corgi with their range coming on the 7th of January, but also a couple of aircraft I got for Christmas, which are really sort of a bit of along the lines of the good, the bad and the ugly really. So from you guys will probably remember a video I did post Duxford Air Show. I managed to pick up a couple of the new Atlas fighters, and I picked up a winter me110 and I picked up an FW190 Dora as well, which were really good. So I was lucky enough to win the competition at my wife's Christmas evening out. It was an Amazon voucher, so I wondered what I could do with it. So I went online and see these two Atlas fighters on there. So the first one is the Black Night Fighter, in exactly the same scheme as Corgi's Me10 that came out last year. And to the right we have the famous French pilot Pierre Clostermann's Mark 9 Spitfire. Really less said about that the better, but I'll get to that in a minute to show you how really when people put their minds to it, they can deliver a really good looking aircraft, but if they don't focus on it, they can deliver something that looks pretty gash, for want of a better word. So the first aircraft here is this lovely night fighter. Up until last year, the only night fighter available in the market was the old Atlas mould me110, which comes as part of a dueling fighter set with an RAF night fighter Defiant. And they're the old Oxford mould, or a very early incarnation of the Oxford mould, because Oxford have knocked out an me110 since, and it wasn't the best. But Corgi finally listened to their customers and knocked out the night fighter last year, which was really well received, and then followed it up later in the year with the Dornier, which wasn't quite as well received. There was a lot of murmurs about the cannon in the nose being wrong. It turns out the actual cannon in the nose was right, but the scaling of it was a little bit off, so it looks a bit like a tank turret sticking out the front of the aircraft. But nonetheless, it's still a good looking aircraft and a must read Corgi night fighter fan. So Atlas had this new range set up probably about 2 years ago now, and not as a dueling fighter set, but as individual aircraft on the market. And some of them have now come on sale in British retailers, and they're available from anything between sort of £12.95 to 15 quid. There's a fantastic Uru, I hope that's pronounced right, the German HS219 night fighter, which is on the agenda to get next, and it looks very nice, as do the two P38s. I'm sure they've got their faults when you examine them closely, but they're pretty decent. And this here is based on the XO tooling me110, and I've got a couple of them in the shed. I'm pretty certain one's a desert one, and there's another one which I'm certain's got the Hornet on the front. I might be incorrect, but I've definitely got that, and I've also got the Agostini magazine edition one with the yellow nose, which is a Battle of Britain aircraft, which isn't quite so nice, but it's the same mould. But they've done a wonderful job on this. If I have a quick little wander around, I'll do a pictorial review and put it up on Instagram after as well, so you can get a few more details. Only real critique I can say, I don't know if you can see the tyres there. The tyres are a standard grey, and they're not. And the old XO undercarriage is a bit of a dog, but actually on this one it sits really nice. Again, they've not painted the tyres, which seems a real shame considering the aircraft is lovely. The up undercarriage options are totally black, and the finish is really nice, and the detailing is really nice as well. So actually a really nice looking aircraft, and that cost me £14.95. So if you've not got an me110 in your collection, this is well worth having a look at. Now on to the bad and the ugly. So is this little baby. Straight away, anybody who knows a little bit about aircraft can tell that the green on this is shocking. I don't quite know who managed to sign this off, but the green really lets it down. So it might be something I can have a look at further down the line and touch it up and get it sort of into a much better sort of shade. But I'm not convinced on the grey either. I'm not convinced on the D-Day stripes. I'm certainly not convinced on the silver band there. I don't know if you can see that. It's actually painted silver instead of grey. It's pretty hideous, isn't it? Let's be honest, it's not the greatest looking aircraft. Yes, it looks like a Spitfire, but actually this same mould has been a Spitfire 1, 5 and 9 now. So they've used the same mould to pretty much do 3 majorly different aircraft. Not even talking about the roundels and the wings, they look well out for me. And again, the shading looks awful. It's just a bodge. You know, one thing you would say they have got right though is the 4-blade prop. Anyone who's seen the War Master review I did earlier in the day, or a few months back, will note that the Mark 9 Spitfire comes with a 3-blade prop. So I might swap the props around on that because it is actually ML417. In the markings of the grey Spitfire, so to actually make it look half decent I might swap it around. I've got a Klosterman in the Witty Wings range, which these colours sort of reminisce a little bit actually. If anyone's got any Witty Wing Spitfires, then that green sort of speaks of that. But it's not a great effort. But this, you know, it's a budget model. It costs what, $12.95 or something stupid. It's not amazing, and certainly if anybody's got any talented code freers out there, like Dan, might be coming his way. It's well worth, you know, the actual model of the aircraft isn't too bad, it's just the colouring just looks absolutely off. And if you look at the D-Day stripes, they're not equal either. Certainly around the fuselage, I don't quite know what's going on there. It's got a right angle almost by the roundel. Yeah, it's hideous, for want of a better word, but I'm sure it'll find a place at the back of the shelf. So as you know, next week on the 7th of the 1st is the 2019 range launch from Corgi. Really quite excited. Haven't been this excited for a launch in quite some time. I'll be doing a video next week and talking through all the new aircraft releases on that. But I've had a little bit of a think and a little wander through the forums, and one of the things that seems to be coming up is there's at least 2 new toolings coming up. So here's a guess on my part of what I think's coming. The first new tooling what I really think is coming is the Handy Page Hamden. If anybody's been watching Corgi's Facebook, this aircraft actually won the pole in the 172 category, and there's been rumours that the Hornby team have been up to RF Cosper to measure up the Handy Page Hamden, which is being rebuilt there. So I think it's a big gap in the Bomber Command theme, and I really think that's going to be coming. The second aircraft, which again is purely guesswork, is, I believe, a Fleet Air Arm Royal Navy F4 Phantom, based on something similar to the one above, which is, there's one out there by Gemini Aces, which is really highly regarded. And the reason I put this is purely because last year apparently it was released to traders that it was coming and then was quickly deleted off. And with the massive success of the Lightning in 148, I really think this is what's going to be coming. So that's it from me this week. Hope you enjoyed a very short video about Atlas fighters. If you get any, please share some pictures of them. Hopefully over the next few weeks I'll get the HS219 as well, and maybe one of the P38s, so I'll be able to share that with you. Please keep sharing your collections on Instagram, Facebook and YouTube. It's really great to see, especially if you've got any Christmas presents that have come through. And that's really about it. So hopefully I'll see you next week with a quite detailed video about the new releases. And I'll speak to you then. Take care.